So radio show host.
Yes.
Top producer.
Tuesday nights.
Mom. All this. You got a laundry list of resume bullet points. I said Thursday.
It's okay.
Tuesday.
I forgive you.
Yeah, it's a good show.
$100.
So I know that you're pretty opinionated about what I'm going to get into right now. So the American Sniper, I know you haven't seen the movie, but you are very active in social media, as I am.
Yes.
You served in the Navy. You have a radio show on KCBQ, as I do. And I went off a little bit earlier this week. I'm sure you saw it.
I loved it.
Well, you know, look, it's the movie was great, first of all. So I look forward to you seeing it. $100 million
I can't wait.
in gross sales. But I think the Michael Moores of the world are becoming more and more obsolete. So I saw the movie and felt compelled to tell my friends about it. I saw the movie and I felt compelled to download his book, Chris Kyle's book, and actually read it. I saw the movie and I felt compelled to watch a documentary on wounded warriors. I saw the movie, I felt compelled to look at starting a charity around this. I didn't feel any need to talk about it really on my radio show. I didn't feel a need to post on Facebook until Michael Moore, who also created Fahrenheit 9/11, came out and said that snipers are cowards, is essentially, I mean, that's exactly what he said. There's a couple things around it. There it is on your screen right now. And you are one of many people I thought of, because obviously you host a show with us and you have served. And you don't have to see the movie to be just completely outraged over this one.
No, there are 100 flights a day leaving this country. And if you don't live this country, I'm happy to buy him a ticket.
Oh, I mean, doesn't he have a choice?
He does. And it's only because men like this have fought for our country that
And
he
women.
even has the right, and women,
Yep.
that he even has the right to free speech and can say these things and be a hater of our country. And it boggles my mind that enough people do not rise up against this kind of hatred for our country.
You know what,
and the men and women serving to protect. You can hate the conflict, you cannot agree with it, war is not pretty, no one loves it. Hey, those of us that serve aren't fans of war.
Right.
But throughout time, it's necessary. And I'm happy to buy him a ticket to any country he'd like to go live in besides this one.
To post that the day of the movie, and then, you know, here's an illustration of how big a coward this guy is. Then he goes back and retracts it and said he wasn't talking about American snipers, even though he put it out on the day of the American Sniper.
Right. He knew exactly what he was doing.
The soldiers that he's calling cowards have more courage in their pinky than he does in his overweight body. But,
Absolutely.
you know, I commented on that. We want to engage in the show. Mary's radio show, my radio show on KCBQ, we comment a lot on this stuff. And we're not going to spend much more time on it,
Yeah.
but I know
I definitely have an opinion.
Yeah, you can hear it Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on Mary Maloney's show. You also have opinions about the marketplace. Now, you are also a brilliant marketer. We just had Seth O'Byrne in here, talked about video marketing. You do a brilliant job in marketing and in social media, but you are more in the North County marketplace. So what's happening up there?
So we're seeing a lot of steam to close out 2014.
Right.
We saw a lot of activity. We actually had the biggest December we've ever had for our company. And so I think there was a lot of pessimism in the market going into fourth quarter. And I think a lot of people got caught off guard by the activity that was happening. And so we're really seeing a lot of activity coming right out of the holidays. And there just really isn't any inventory. And so we really need sellers that are thinking about it to go ahead and jump in. The water's fine. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to get a lot of offers, that's for sure. I mean, so if you have low inventory and you have a lot of demand, low supply, you should get a lot of offers, should get top dollar. Mary can help you with that, hometownnorthcounty.com if you want to. Is that the right website,
Yes.
hometownnorthcounty.com? You're always switching it up on there.
Got to keep you on your toes.
Yeah. But so, you know, I am one of those people that's been confused by the market as well. It was interesting to watch all this activity all of a sudden at the end of 2014. Now we're leading into this year. We were talking about mortgage rates earlier.
Yeah.
They've gone down. They're practically paying your mortgage for you now. So you just got to look at it and see if it makes sense for you. And of course, if you're selling, it depends when you're going to sell, what your goals are. Every situation is different. There are a lot of predictions being made right now in the national media. Now, lucky for you, this is a San Diego-based show. This is why we bring in top professionals out of the San Diego marketplace. But let's look at what CNBC had to say about the 2015 marketplace.
You say you have to have a plan and you have to, think ahead. But listen, you said it yourself. If rates go up next year, typically it's going to put pressure on prices. So if you're buying a house this year thinking you're going to flip it a year from now, that may not happen so quickly, because if rates rise and then you see kind of people pull back, housing prices will adjust, and they'll adjust lower. And so I think when you buy a house, you have to have a much longer term outlook in terms of how long you're going to be there. You're going to be there 5 years, 10 years. What are you doing? You're raising a family.
Right.
You're not jumping in and out.
Right, exactly, which again, so for example, if you're seeing that rates are increasing, then you might want to really strongly consider renting your home, because next year, in my opinion, we're going to get a lot more renters. I mean, we had it this year, we're going to have more next year.
And to her point, the millennial generation is a question mark. The reality is the millennials, the Facebook generation, are going to be very transient. They're not going to want a home as an anchor. Listen, homes have never appreciated more than 2% on average going back to the 50s. It's only recently.
National media, local market expert. So what do you say about the San Diego Marketplace 2015?
Well, I think there's a few things coming into this new year. We've got interest rates that are extremely low, like you just said, that everyone's been commenting on. It's a great time to be looking at buying, getting out of renting. Also, leveraging those dollars instead of pulling cash reserves to maybe get the pool or do a remodel. Oftentimes, we can help our clients to actually purchase a new home, save those cash reserves, and maybe even buy an investment with those and get the pool and the upgrades that they're looking to do. I think you're going to see a lot more new construction locally, anywhere from 30 to 40%. Builders are very bullish. I recently had Bill Davidson on, if you remember, and they're very bullish on new construction, which with millennials slowly coming back to the market, I think we're going to see a lot of owning versus renting this next year. Our rents are just becoming so high that it no longer makes sense. But they've put off buying homes, they've delayed getting married, delayed having children, and now I think they're slowly going to start coming back to the market in 2015, which, as we know, housing is an ecosystem, and when the millennials come back and start buying that first-time home, then that starts to spur the move up, and whether they buy new construction or resale, then the ecosystem starts to move very fast in San Diego with move up, move down, move around, make a lateral move.
Move down. We'll say that one again. Move up, move down, make a whoa.
Move down the street.
So you talked about builders actually growing, putting more properties in. That's going to help with inventory, right?
Absolutely. We need builders building homes. I think what we're seeing right now in North County, though, is we're seeing builders building a lot of luxury. We're not
sorry,
really
I'm still
seeing.
We made the guys back there laugh a little bit with that one. That was good.
Got to keep them on their toes. But we need builders
building.
building.
There is no teleprompter on this show.
There is none.
Yep.
We need builders building for the millennials. We've got to solve that inventory for the millennials. And I think no one's talking about it, but I think the big buzz in 2015 is going to be condo conversions. We've got to see condo conversions coming back.
You're absolutely right. That's around the corner. I agree with you. And you mentioned the move-up buyer. I think that if you're considering moving up down the road, keep in mind, what if interest rates were to rise on you? It's going to make that much more expensive of a home. So if you're thinking about 2-3 years, you might consider it now. Speaking of inventory, you got a new exciting listing coming up in your neck of the woods. Is that right?
We do. We have a new listing that we're featuring here. This is in Santa Leo Hills. It is a 1,500 square foot townhome, and this is a great example of something that someone can purchase at the same amount that our local rents are costing right now in that area. So this is exciting, and
now,
on
what kind
our
of price
website,
range are we looking at for something like this?
This one is listed in the low fours, so you can actually, your mortgage is about the same as the rent in that area.
I promise you it is. When you look at where interest rates are, when you look at a mortgage, here's what's very important. You have to factor out the money that's paying down principal, because you're saving money with every payment you make. You're also going to get tax advantages for the interest that you're paying on it. So if there's anything to do from today, go to our website, get a rent versus own analysis. You can also visit Mary Maloney at hometownnorthcounty.com. Mary, never short of excitement or opinions. Love the radio show. Love having you on The American Dream.
Thanks.
We're going to do another high five.
Love being here.